Hey there, and I am live here tonight, and it is Monday. It's the long weekend, so it kind of feels like a Sunday. It does. It does kind of. Is it? It's Monday, right? Yeah, it is Monday. I actually had to look because you get mixed up sometimes during the long weekend. So next Friday, well, actually Thursday night, late Thursday night, usually 12 EST, I think. That's when the sale hits. That's when Vinegar Syndrome's halfway to Black Friday sale hits. There's been more news. There's been some like sneak peeks at the slip covers. We know the colors of the slip covers, sort of. We know something now called a split cover as well. So if you like my Vinegar Syndrome content, if you haven't tired of that, and you're gonna like this week, because this week my videos are definitely going to be centered on the upcoming sale. They're going to be centered on basically we're going to talk anything Vinegar Syndrome here over the next couple of days on my channel. This is basically the countdown to this sale, which is supposed to be, according to Vinegar Syndrome, and I do trust them on this, their most epic sale that they have ever done. So that being said, let's kind of get into it. Normally hey, Movie Madness, I'm super excited. I'm guessing you're following it on like Twitter and Instagram. Did you see the split cover that they kind of showed like a little bit of? That intrigues me. I've never seen anything done kind of like that before, so that is kind of neat. The thing is, and I'm not going to lie to you. Let me see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it for you, dude. I was hoping that the stuff that they're doing wasn't going to be too tempting, like of the new stuff, because I wanna get a lot of the older stuff. So here, let me show you. So this here, well, hopefully you can see this. No, it's not too. But I'm going to try this. So this here, see, there's two sides to this cover, here and here, and it looks like they kind of go together to make it to be like a split cover. So this image they put on a few hours ago, and this is Vinegar Syndrome's new thing. Hey, Boredom Strikes, called the split cover. So curious about that. I'm wondering if this is going to have anything to do with their upcoming, slip covers for older releases, which they've been hinting at too. Vinegar Syndrome kind of like an art thing label. And here we have the two colors for the new slip covers. So we know one's kind of like a baby blue color, and the other one is kind of like a yellow. It kind of reminds me of the Sweet Sugar cover that they did. God, I hope it's not Terminal Island, because I want that one to be like the Black Friday one, when I can save up more and have a bit more money, because this sale here, I really do want to like get a few of their other ones. They have hinted at the slip cover, Boredom Strikes, and with this new thing here, the split cover, which I just showed there, that's kind of intriguing as well. This is something that we haven't seen before. It's a new thing from Vinegar Syndrome. Hey, Stack, we're doing basically the countdown to the Vinegar Syndrome sale. We're going to talk, anything Vinegar Syndrome, any questions you got. Like, I'm going to let you guys know, give you a bit of, like, I've been on my new computer, and I've been like using that to do, of course, important things like, honestly, study the sale. I have gone through, just to let you guys know, it does look really cool. On Wednesday night, they're shutting their site down until the sale, so that anybody that wants to get in and look at the stuff and like kind of just get an idea of what they want. Trust me, I've been doing that over the last few days. I think I'm driven my better half like almost nuts with it. I know it's really different, and it's really cool. I tried to see if I could see what it was. Is it going to be something like that's going to be like specific to a specific film? Is this something that's going to have like different films that it can be used for? Is this going to be kind of a catch-all with maybe like a different title or kind of a different thing on there? Is this going to be something new that they put together, or is it like, it's apparently not one of their halfway to Black Friday sale titles? So this isn't from one of the titles. So this is something This is something on its own, completely different. We can kind of like guess at what it could be. Um, I try to look at the cover on the inside of it just to see. I'm guessing they'd use like a cover to try and kind of fool us type of thing, so that we wouldn't know. And I do think that the cover on the inside kind of looks like, is that maybe a bit like the Suckling or something like that type. You know, it's got that red like kind of look to it on the on the inside right here. But I don't know. It's really intriguing. One of my biggest decisions that I had to make during this whole like sale thing is I have things done. I have categorized things. I'm pretty OCD with this stuff. So I'll give you an idea of what I meant. And you guys, jump in here because I prefer not to just talk to myself, speak up. I like that. Yeah, it'll definitely use, it won't be half the 22. It usually will be half of the suggested retail price. So let's just say, for instance, let me go to their website right now. I'll give you an idea of what I mean. So I'm in Canada, and I'm not going to do any of the newer ones because I know they won't be on sale. So let's go with cutting class, okay? So cutting class in Canadian is $44.35, for instance, right? Like regular price. But right now, it's on for $30.92. So for the sale, and this is just me kind of guesstimating. So let's go with that. So 44.35 divided by 2 is 22.17. So the cutting class price would probably be around $22. To go by that. So anything that's around $44 is going to be around 22. Things that are going to be around $40, it usually comes up at like $20.18, 17 cents, something like that. If you're in Canada, for instance, I'm in Canada. Then the flat shipping rate is usually $12 shipping rate. If you want to know what that's an American. If you want to know what that kind of rounds out to in Canadian prices, for instance, for my other Canadian brethren that are on here or come on later, that would be around $16 in Canadian. So pretty good shipping. I got to say they're really fast. $16 for 10 or 20 or whatever you're buying amount of movies actually does tend to be pretty good. Normally over $100, it's free shipping, but the free shipping is gone after that. That's the thing, Adam. It couldn't be just different titles like hit different people. Like, what do you normally collect, Adam? Like, what would you kind of be your thing? Is there a company that you like? Kind of a style? Because that's the thing. That's why there's so many different companies. I actually do have an idea, Boredom. So I'll let you know. Now what I did. Criterion, Kino, and Shout. So you like a lot more you might like some of their earlier stuff, actually. Good Luck, Miss Wyckoff, for instance, would be something more along the lines that I would have expected a Criterion or something like that to do. There's some of their earlier stuff, and some of their more kind of like more dramatic stuff. Maybe some of their Southern Gothic stuff, like The Killing Con with John Savage, and then Southern might be more of your type if you looked into that one. There's a few different ones. There's a lot of exploitation-y stuff. There's a lot of the adult stuff. I know if you're not into that, then you're not into that. It's not your bag. Everybody got their own different likes and dislikes. But there are a few there that you might like just give another look into that might just kind of like hit your fancy. Because they are pretty, they've gone from like a company that did a little bit to, they become much more eclectic in the type of things that they put out. And they do great transfers. So, just know they do the best possible transfers available. So when I did my list up, and I am not going to lie, I'm a complete geek. What I did is I referenced and I cross-referenced, and then I put them in categories. So in category 1 was blaxploitation. Now I've got some blaxploitation, but the blaxploitation not in my collection right now is Human Tornado, Petey Wheatstraw, Disco Godfather, Candy Tangerine Man / Lady Coco, Penitentiary, Penitentiary 2, Welcome Home Brother Charles, and MMA. Now that's the biggest like lot there altogether. And for me in Canadian prices with half price put onto it, that's what I did. I did with half price. It would be around 147.32 for those 7 Blu-rays. Now I'm not going to be getting all those 7. I'm going to be getting certain ones from that list. Next up is the Sexploitation Signature Collection. Now I'm a big fan of Joe Sarno and the work that he does. He's his cinematography is it's excellent. It is stunningly excellent. And although this is a Sexploitation Signature Collection, it actually probably has less sex and nudity than their regular stuff. I would consider this, me personally, much of it more along the lines of some of their classier, kind of more style things that they put out. And that collection in Canadian is 86.78. There's Pickup, Fugitive Girls, Red Roses of Passion, and the End of Milligan double feature Seeds, Vapors. Now, with Seeds and Vapors, that's going to be like, you see I got like here, Seeds of Sin. So Seeds is going to have like Seeds and Seeds of Sin on there. Both versions of the film. Very, very different versions of the same film. Now, Red Roses of Passion is a Joe Sarno film. Now, there was another Joe Sarno film, and the name of it like escapes me right now. But it sold out really quickly. It sold out really fast. The thing is that I thought that other film was the first in the Sexploitation Signature Collection. It has a really cool side on it too. Like there. So I said, okay, if I can't get, I'm going to be too OCD about it. It's going to cost me too much to get the other ones down the road. Get the first one down the road. So I'll just steer clear of it. I was looking through it, and I really wanted a couple of the titles there, but I said, man, if only Red Roses of Passion was actually available. So I went in and I looked, and I said, I completely got this mixed up. Red Roses of Passion, the number 1 in the Sexploitation Signature Collection, is available. It's over 500 copies left, actually. So more than likely, the Sexploitation Signature Collection are for sure going to be in my cart when I go to get stuff. They're not doing any more of this series. There's 4 of them. It's a quick, easy collection to get, and all 4 of those films I really like. Fugitive Girls is by far A.C. Stevens' most accomplished work. If you know A.C. Stevens is, I know you're thinking, well, that's not saying much, but actually it is. This is actually probably the best thing that A.C. Stevens has put out. Please don't look at Orgy of the Dead and think that is the best thing that A.C. Stevens can do, because it's not. Nice. Diversification is really good, and it's really fun. Sometimes you need that. You need that palate cleanser. You need that kind of different thing to go in there. Now, next up is the horror collection. Now, I picked 6 that I really wanted, and they're here in my in here. So at 133.32 Canadian, there was Blood Theater: The Visitants, which is an early Rick Sloane release. Rick Sloane, most people know him from the movie Hobgoblins, which is a MST3K staple. But Blood Theater actually has Mary Warnoff as one of the main stars of it, and I'm a huge fan of Mary Warnoff's. Next up is Witch Trap, which is a Kevin Tenney release, and Kevin Tenney is the guy that did the Witchboard films. So if you know the Witchboard films, that was Kevin Tenney who did Witchboard. I think Kevin Tenney did, I think he might have did, I'm not sure, did he Rumpelstiltskin? No, maybe that was someone else. Okay, anyway, so he did the Witchboard films anyway. Next up is Star Time. Now, Star Time is a really different film. Hey there, Adrian. Star Time stars Michael St. Gerard. And like I've said, every time I mention this film, Michael St. Gerard is probably most famous for, well, in my opinion, he's most famous for playing Elvis. Back in the 80s, he was in an Elvis miniseries that was so popular it became an Elvis short-lived TV series. I'm not kidding, that was a thing. But in this one, Michael St. Gerard plays this disturbed man who's basically, he's led on by this person that at first, the one that works with him, thinks he's thinks it's just an imaginary friend that's kind of basically telling him that you can have your fame. You can have your 15 minutes of fame. Let me show you how to do it. Let me guide you. Like, let me guide you. Like I could guide like the Zodiac Killer, or I could guide the Son of Sam. Let me guide you to get that fame. A really good film. A lot of people see it and they think it's kind of a slasher film. It's not a slasher film. It does have like some of the tropes of that, but it's much more of a psychological style film. It's strange, it's unique, and it's definitely something that I think needs to get more look into it than it initially does. Star Time is not the people look at Star Time, they look at the cover, and they think it's a slasher film. They think it's going to be a la Friday the 13th or something like that. You're not going to get that with Star Time. Please know that going in. Don't expect it to be like a slasher film. Expect something different and unique and weird. So if you like that, then that's definitely one that I would strongly recommend. I think it's a great title, and it's one that I'm looking forward to having in my collection. And I do want to qualify that because a lot of people actually don't like look at Star Time and they just think it's like an 80s slasher or a knockoff or something like that. It's not. It's actually a really good film. It's a really different film. But it's really well done and well acted too, I think. Next up is Cutting Class, which Incubus is fantastic. John Cassavetes and John Ireland stack. You can't beat that. Let me know what you think of it, by the way, when you get it. Cutting Class, which most people got. But I don't have that one yet. And I've got the DVD, but it's the cut DVD, the one that MGM put out. Yeah, that one's cut, guys. I think it was MGM. But this is the uncut. There's a lot of features on this one. I'm actually very looking forward to getting it. I didn't buy into the hype of all the 5 slipcovers. That wasn't my thing. You guys know that. I mentioned it during the last sale. So that's why I waited. Like, I legitimately waited on Cutting Class for this because now I want to get it. I am a slasher fan, and that is like an 80s slasher film. It's got like Joe Sholin, who I really like. And of course, you got a young Brad Pitt and Donovan Leitch, who is always really good. Next up is the infamous Bloodhook. You got it, Barrett? Right on. And Bloodhook is one that I really, for some reason, I saw the cut version of this one, and I thought that was weird and fun. And like, I got to get this one. I regret not getting the cover, but the slip cover, but that's okay. The film is all there. Which one? It got great music and pacing, but the end was kind of a reach. Are we talking Star Time? Because if we are, I kind of agree. Or are we talking like Cutting Class? Either way, that can work with either one of those. Bloodhook is really fun. This is the uncut version of Bloodhook. There's a lot of features on it. It's actually Shockwaves approved. And next up is House of the Dead, otherwise called Alien Zone, which is a really weird title for this movie, which is not about, oh, Incubus. Okay, right on. I like the ending though. Yeah, actually, I'm actually kind of excited about that. Cliffhanger is basically a generic action film that just happened to have a couple good actors in it. Whoever's in it, like male or female, is not going to change the film. It's just a remake of an action film, so I'm all for it. House of the Dead is it's an anthology film. I love anthology films. Most anthology films. I got one I'm looking at over there that I really hated, but. But overall, anthology films are like kind of my thing. It's my jam. It's my favorite stuff. So that is on my list. Nah, I mean, like, if you're going to sequelize any Sly Stallone film, let it be ICU. Look at that. Look for that one. That's a good one. It's not a film that needs a sequel, to be totally honest with you. But, make a modern day remake. I'm all for that. Next up is one that I'm probably not going to get now, but I did think about it, and that is the Curtis Stevens, like the Taboo Quadrology. Now, I'm a fan of like some of the adult like cinema stuff that's there, and I'm definitely a fan of the Taboo series. It was well shot, well done, and the weird thing about this is, for like an adult film. Well scripted. I mean, like, to the point where, like, plots and dangling things and storylines, and like there are storylines in this, go all the way and like kind of come full circle in the 4th one. So That's actually kind of a mix. Trashy Lady is actually really fun. It's like kind of like a reverse Pygmalion. I actually like Trashy Lady, but like I think of like the Taboo quadrology because there's more afterwards, but there's straight to DVD stuff. At the time, I go straight to VHS, but the first four were like theatrically done films done by the same husband and wife team. It's the writing is really, really it goes deep, and you don't, and I mean that in not in like I mean that like as in the it's different. Okay, there we go. Next up is the exploitation set. Now this one's a little bit different. Got a little bit of everything here. That's the 70, 74. In Canadian, there's 4 Blu-rays in this one. Probably not getting this one, but I may get 1 or 2 of them. Oh, nice. I'm a bad man. Tell your daughter to enjoy it. And this one has Sugar Cookies, Punk Vacation, which is actually a double feature. Telephone Book, everybody keeps telling me to get that one. I don't think I'm going to get it this time around. And Trip the Teacher, which was the other one, kind of like fit outside the range, but something that I really do like. And then in the kind of like the smaller one, for 47.74 Canadian, is my Peakorama ones that I thought about. There is one Blu-ray available for Peakorama. That's the Erotic Adventures of Candy. Candy Goes to Hollywood. It's kind of like a eroticized version of Candide. Then there's Sunny More Than Sisters, which is kind of like a thriller type one. And there's Abduction of a Playgirl, which is a Bob Chin comedy. And Winter Heat, which is Jamie Gillis and being like dark Jamie Gillis, because he's really, really good at that. So I'm not getting those, the Peakorama ones this time around, but they were like on my list of ones that I wanted to get. Next up is one that I definitely think I'm going to be pulling the trigger on, and that are the volumes 3 and volumes 4 of 5 Films, 5 Years. I know that if I do not get these, I will completely 100% regret it. And so right here is our volumes 1 and 2 of the 5 Films, 5 Years set. I am a huge fan of both of these, and I've watched every film on these sets. They are really, really cool, really fun stuff. And it's a great variety. It's a great variety of stuff. So volume 1 here was the Golden Age of Erotica set. So, this is the adult one. So if you don't like the adult stuff, you probably want to pass on the Golden Age Erotica one. But this one had some really good stuff. It was like Too Naughty to Say No, which is kind of like an updated of the kind of like some of the Marquis de Sades writings, like done within a film. And that one had Ginger Lynn, by the way, who, of course, starred in the film Trashy Lady, which you guys just mentioned there. The second up is Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls, which is a Bob Chin comedy. If you know Bob Chin and his work, you know that his comedies actually work. Like even if there were not adult scenes in them, you could actually cut the adult scenes and have like a pretty damn good comedy. Then the third one is The Ribald Tales of Canterbury, and that is basically directed by Bud Lee, and it's kind of obviously it's the Chaucer tale, with an adult spin on that with a Patia Lee. Number 4 is Prisoners of Paradise, which is I think that's the kind of like a Nazi exploitation one. So that is Bob Chin too, but I think it's a different, like a more serious one. And next up is Dixie Ray, Hollywood Star, which is a film noir, an adult film noir, and it is legitly a film noir. It's actually pretty damn good. Next up is the horror and exploitation one. So this is volume 2. Now up first is a fantastic little film, and that is The Mothers by Cirio Santiago. And you guys know I love my Cirio Santiago. I get such a kick out of his stuff. Now number 2 is by Carlos Tobolini, and Carlos Tobolini is also I guess he's better known for a lot of his more adult films that he does. He does a lot more adult films than he does than I can think of the regular ones. When I think of Carlos Tobolini, I do think more of adult stuff, but this isn't. This is actually Flesh and Bullets, which is kind of like a kind of Strangers on the Trainers type of thing. Next up is the John Hayes one, and that is Hang Up. Number 4 is Dungeons of Harrow by Pat Bayet, starring Russ Harvey, and the 5th one is Murder on the Emerald Sea, directed by Alan Ormsby. Now, with the next 2 that are coming out, that are out, I knew I had to have them. They were just super, super, really, really cool ones that He didn't. Let me see if I can find him here. You guys are so quiet tonight. So, Volume 3, for instance, just to let you know what's on Volume 3 of the Golden Age of Erotica, starts off with, because these movies on these films 5 year sets, they are all films that you can buy the DVD editions of them on from Vinegar Syndrome if they're still available. You can still buy the DVDs, but these are upgraded Blu-ray editions. You're not gonna once these are gone, these are gone. That's it. And some of them are getting down there. So Volume 3, for instance, has got about 238 left in stock. Oh, nice! Uninvited is such a cool title. I hope you like it. It's a really fun Graydon Clark film. And with these here, you can only buy one, and it is, it is, because it is like a limited one, it is pretty strictly enforced. There are 2,500 of each of these, and they're getting down there. So first up is Dracula Sucks, which is actually a fantastic little adult version of Dracula film. Again, starring one of my favorites, Jamie Gillis. It's directed by Philip Marshak, and excellent film. Next up is Corporate Assets, which is one with Amber Lynn, directed by Thomas Paine. I actually remember that one. I remember getting that one when I was younger, so that one's going to have like kind of throwback feels for me. Next up is Bill Melling's Vixens of Kung Fu. Yes, an adult kung fu film. A lot of fun, and again, you got Jamie Gillis. I'm guessing it'll probably be a bad guy in this one. Tropic of Desire brings you back to Bob Chin, and this goes into his World War II type of stuff again, so we'll see how that goes there. And number 5 is another John Hayes one, kind of throwback, so we got 2 John Hayes over the 2 volumes there, and this one is Baby Rosemary with Sharon Thorpe and Candida Royale, and of course, the excellent John Leslie. Now, Volume 4 is, of course, their regular kind of their exploitation type one, and it starts off with one that was the kind of the love of the reboot for Mystery Science Theater with Jonah Ray, and that is Cry Wilderness. So if you remember like watching the new Mystery Science Theater series that came on Netflix, and you saw that hilarious episode with the Bigfoot that was just insane. Well, that's Cry Wilderness, and that is on here. The actual uncut version of Cry Wilderness is on here as well. That's, a 1986 film. It is super insane. If you know MST3K, you know this film, and you're going to kind of want it. Next up is Vampire Hookers, which is another fantastic Serious Santiago film. Although it's called Vampire Hookers, it's and it's kind of what it is. It's a comedy film and a bit of an action film. It's a strange little film, but it's really funny, and it cracked up me and my better half a couple times because we got like the DVD of this one, but we'll gladly upgrade because we got it on the double feature from Driving Collection. Next up is Evil Come, Evil Go with Cleo O'Hara, directed by Walt Davis. Don't know anything about that one. I don't remember that one at all, so it's going to be a kind of a blind watch. Next one I do have the limited edition DVD of, and I'm kind of really glad to be upgrading this one to a Blu-ray, and that's Cutthroats, directed by John Hayes. Of course, John Hayes, whose name I mentioned before, who did Baby Rosemary. Of course, also did like one of the classic like vampire films called Grave the Vampire, which is coming up from Scream Factory. So if you like Grave the Vampire and want to see some other stuff that he did, then Cutthroats is a very different type of film from him. And he actually has a cameo by Michael Pataki from Grave the Vampire in Cutthroats. And last but not least is Teenage Seductress, and it's directed by Chris Warfield, and it stars Sandra Curry. And if that last name Curry kind of sounds familiar to you, yes, that is the sister of the girl, of the singer that you're thinking of, Cherry Curry. That is her sister in that film. So I'm definitely going to be grabbing, pretty sure I'm going to be grabbing volumes 3 and 4 from the 5 years, 5 film set. And I do recommend anybody else, if they've been looking at them, if they've been on the fence, I would definitely go with it. I would definitely get them. The only other ones I got here is our options, like the Pretty Peaches trilogy, which is kind of a fun trilogy. Part 1 and 2 I remember being better than Part 3, more story-wise and stuff. Then Psychic Killer is another one that's on my list too. I think Graydon Clark actually acts in Psychic Killer, if I'm not getting correct. And there were a few in the Driving Collection that I thought about, but actually some of them kind of like overlapped over with the 5 years, 5 film set. So I'm going to go with the 5 years, 5 film set. I want to get those before they're gone, before it's gone. And it's a really great deal. I mean, like when you, like for both of those there, So it would, like the 5 years fine film set in Canadian dollars, that's 53.83 for two sets of like two DVD sets, which have 5 films on them each, which is 10 films. So basically, it's like, I don't know, 250, whatever the math is for those films. Yeah, $2.50 a film, that type of thing, which is actually pretty good. Some people kind of go off on them, like don't get them because they think, okay, well, there's no features, but the features are having 5 films on Blu-ray as opposed to DVD for the for that price. If there are features on the DVDs down the road that you want to get, if you find that one of these movies you really love and you want to get the features and stuff, a lot of them don't have features anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. But a couple of them actually like do have a commentary or something. The DVDs are usually so inexpensive during the sale time. We're talking like $5 or $10 that you can easily upgrade, and you can downgrade and get a DVD to get that extra feature and kind of get yourself an ultimate set if you feel the need to do so. But you guys are super quiet tonight, and I've done way more talking than I'm used to doing when I'm not walking around here doing my movie library tour, which I will start doing again next week. I'll be honest with you, my last video that I did ran about 160 views type of thing. And I usually what I do, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'll be honest, I usually wait when it hits around the 180, 200 views, that's when I usually do another video, because then I feel like, hey, you're not tired of me. Maybe it's okay for me to come back and make another video now, and you're not tired of my face. Now, that being said, I have absolutely every one of my Vinegar Syndrome titles right next to me right now. So if there's titles that you're looking at, there's things on the website you're thinking about, if I've got that title, if you're wondering, okay, what's this title look like? What's the alternate artwork look like? What features are on this title? Have you seen it? What do you think of this? I got everything here within hand's reach. I got it put here. Hey, B Movie Archives, welcome, dude. We are doing the countdown to the Vinegar Syndrome sale all this week. Up until the sale starts Wednesday, the website goes down. Horror for Vinegar Syndrome. Okay. All right. So let me just look here. So are you looking like kind of like you've got Uninvited, which is Graydon Clark. It really depends on the type you like. I'm going to show you some different types of horror ones. Some very different types of horror stuff. Oh, welcome back, Movie Madness. So you're getting Incubus. That's a good title. That actually is a really good title. You've seen it before, but I'll tell you right now, there's some great features on Incubus. It was one that I really enjoyed. Yeah, just to let you know, there's like, when it comes to Incubus, there's a fantastic interview with the director. A great interview with Carrie Keane. She's a Canadian actress. Wonderful commentary track by The Hysteria Continues. Interview with the DP as well, and some like trims and alternate shots, which is actually really cool. So I think you're going to enjoy that. You've seen it before, but like diving into it and seeing it like looking better, in my opinion, than it's ever looked. That's definitely going to be kind of something to look into. Now, I will mention a couple here of different styles. I'm going to guess you've probably already got stuff like The Undertaker, like the Joe Spinell one, because if you like movies like Incubus, like movies like Maniac, stuff like that, then you've probably gotten Undertaker. That's obviously a good title. If you want something more, like subdued. But now, Malibu High is going to be a fun watch, dude. Very different from Shocking Dark, though. Shocking Dark is like batshit crazy. I love that, though. But if you want to see something kind of, trying to think what would be like a kind of a fun one. Well, I don't think there's nothing out there that's going to be like priced for the sale. So, but that is obviously a great release. Let me mention a couple like lower key ones first. Ones that aren't like so much exploitation-y as they are like actual, some in a way like more dramatic films, a bit of a slow burn type of thing. For people that like that, or who aren't into, like, for instance, into the really, the hack and slash or any of that type of stuff, that can appreciate a bit the slow burn. Not everybody's into that stuff, but there's two that stand out that are very different than the other titles. And first up is The Killing Kind with John Savage and Ann Southern. Again, a very different title. This is a slipcover. I think the slipcover is still available. I really like the slipcover, by the way. Death Row Game Show. That I don't have that one yet. Now that's one that's really fun, and they got like some short films that the guy did on there as well that should be kind of interesting. But this one here has like a career-spanning interview with Curtis Harrington, which is actually kind of cool. Historical commentary track. This is a very different film. Now Curtis Harrington did movies like Ruby and Night Tide. So basically, there's this guy named Terry. He goes away for like basically for assault, and when he comes back with his mother's very overprotective. She's very she's very she knows there's something wrong, and he knows there's something wrong, and it's not going to end well. It's he wants revenge. It's a bit of a slow burn film, but I really enjoyed it. Killing Khan actually watched it a couple times, but again, like I'm gonna say it right now, it's not for everybody. It is kind of like a slower one. Massage Parlor Murders is really fun. Death Machines, that is a blast. And Christmas Evil, you can't go wrong with Christmas Evil. Next up is one that's more of like a gothic style, like Southern Gothic, you would kind of call it, and that is Dominique. Where most people who have seen this movie will remember the trailer, the Dominique is Dead trailer, that actually would play at the beginning of a lot of like. I used to get a lot of those Elvira like tapes, VHS tapes, and they had, a lot of them had Dominique, trailer at the beginning of it. Now this actually has a really good cast. So we got Cliff Robertson and Gene Simmons in this movie. We got Jenny Agutter in the film as well. So we're talking about an A-list cast, in my opinion, in Dominique. And Dominique is one of those movies, where she's an older lady and she's married to this guy, and she starts like hearing things and seeing things, and part of her thinks, not that Gene Simmons, part of her thinks she's going insane. Part of her thinks that her husband is trying to drive her insane. You'll eventually find out exactly what's going on. There's some really cool, good like twists within this film. I really like it. It is a bit of like no, Gene Simmons is like she's like kind of an actress. She's in like a lot of old films. But it's really cool. It's kind of I love the way it's done. I love the reveal at the end of the film. I'm not going to give that away, obviously, but if you like these slow burn kind of mystery thrillers, kind of like what exactly is going on in this old decrepit house type of thing. Is she crazy? Is he trying to drive her insane? Is there more to it than that? And then then something happens, and then there's a whole new twist on that. Then yeah, Dominique's actually a really good film. Obviously, any of the stuff by if you're not grabbing say like if you're not going to be grabbing the indicator set, say you want to you're North American based and you don't have like a region free player or that type of thing, any of the ones by Norman J. Warren are definitely recommendations. Things like Prey, which I thought was really fun. That's a bit slower. Bloody New Year's really fun too. Actually, that's way more fun than I realized it was going to be. Uninvited, I always say that one. Night Train to Terror. If you've never seen Night Train to Terror, or if you've seen it and you want to see it looking good, definitely look into a lot like Let's Scare Jessica to Death, I would say. Adrian, that's actually a really good, like kind of companion for Dominique. So let's just, if you like something like Let's Scare Jessica to Death, then you're probably gonna like Dominique. In my not so humble opinion. That's a great comparison actually. So those there are ones that I can think about right off the bat. And of course, Luther the Geek. But again, that is kind of like a trauma-esque title. You had to like that type of stuff. You have to know that you've got a killer that's going to come in. That's basically a geek, and he is. I don't mean that in the me sense of the word, but I mean it in basically he's going to be in there, kind of killing people, by biting their neck type of thing. And he's going to cluck. He's going to cluck like a chicken. He's going to do that, and he's going to do it and try and make it not seem like super weird. There, Movie Madison died, Dominique. See, that's when I really liked Movie Madison. And I wasn't sure if Dominique was going to stand the test of time, to be honest with you. I thought, is this going to be too slow for me now? Is it going to be, maybe it's where I'm getting older and I'm not like so much into the bloody gore type of stuff. But Dominique was right up my alley. I actually really did like that. And I like that you said that you liked it too, because that actually makes me feel better about the whole. about the whole thing. I'm going to try something here. There we go. I'm going to try and open up my hair so that I actually can, if you guys comment and I miss it, I want to be able to like actually see what you guys are saying. So I turned it down ahead of time so that I wouldn't have this, the noise of. Oh, you got the right spelling for Dominique. I think you got it. Again, a fantastic little film. For Vinegar Syndrome, there's like a whole like bunch that you can definitely go with if you're interested in their women in prison type stuff, or kind of like their female exploitation type stuff. I'm going to recommend this right here, Sweet Sugar. It is a fantastic title. Stars Phyllis Davis, who I think did a really good job in this one here. The girl who played Dominique, that is Gene Simmons actually. Jean Simmons, not the Kiss lead singer. But that is her that plays Dominique. She's like she's a classic. She is like top of the line actress. I guess later years you'd probably see her like in stuff, end up like on episodes of Murder She Wrote or something like that, where a lot of the older actors kind of like went after their their film career kind of winded down. Jessica Fletcher gave a lot of Angela Lansbury played Jessica Fletcher, gave them a lot of parts on her show to help them, and at times she did that to help them, if they were having hard times or if they needed to pay medical bills, then Angela Lansbury was there for people that way. A lot of people don't realize that, but she did a lot of good through Murder She Wrote, and not just like made a TV show out of it. Well, of course, there's always the fun, weird stuff. Stuff that everybody's got Jack Frost, so I don't really need to recommend that one to anybody. If you like kind of fun double features, if you're a Dave Dakota type of guy, and you don't have it like as of yet, this is a weird but fun little one. Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace. It's fantastic, and there's another one, by the way, I think it's called Terminal Island, Movie Madness. That is, I think it's by the same director, or at least that is Phyllis. I think maybe I know that it's one that my dad loves, and it's I think we saw it like on VHS or something back that day. We really liked it anyway. But Terminal Island is one I'm looking forward to, and Vinegar Syndrome eventually is putting that one out, by the way. So just if you like Sweet Sugar a lot, keep an eye out for Terminal Island when it comes out. I think that'll be up your alley too. But this is just kind of a weird, fun little one. It's got a couple commentaries on there with Dakota and star Linnea Quigley. If you're a fan of Linnea Quigley, you're going to get a real kick out of these. If you getting this, then get the others as well. Because you're going to have a lot of fun with the Linnea Quigley titles. Witch Trap is the one that I want to get during this one. It's the only Linnea Quigley title that Vinegar Syndrome has put out, as far as I know anyway, that I don't have in my collection right now. And as being like a guy who grew up like, was a teenager in the 80s, anything that had Linnea Quigley was something that I was there for. She was like one of the scream queens of the mid to late 80s that I really, we all fell in love with her. We all love Linnea Quigley and Michelle Bauer and Brink Stevens and all those girls. And of course, if you don't have it, which I'm going to guess most people do, Nightmare Sisters is a really fun one. Oh, it's okay, dude. It's really cool actually, because you come up with something that that's kind of been touched on but hasn't been like delved into, and I like that. So Nightmare Sisters, another this is a really fun title. If for nothing else, we get another like commentary track with Dakota and Linnea Quigley. I do find their commentary tracks fairly decent. But it's a great cast. I mean, we got Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer's in there, and what better name than for like one of the stars as Dookie Flyswatter. There you go. Fantastic name for an actor. You're gonna go far with that name, Dookie Flyswatter. Obviously, I'm sure he's won an Oscar or something like that, right? And yeah, well, can you imagine that? No, and the Academy Award goes to Dookie Flyswatter. It's a comedy. It's it's a horror comedy type of thing. Really fun, cheesy, kind of low budget fun special effects. Movies like Nightmare Sisters, movies like Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace really work based on the chemistry of the cast that they have within the film. Nightmare Sisters, like Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, they all kind of went around together. They did like a lot of the same films and would see each other on film sets and stuff like that. So there was a kind of a camaraderie. So they get to play off each other pretty well. You did spell it right. So yeah, I recommend that. And if you want to Witch Trap, which is a fantastic little Kevin Tenney film, kind of weird, kind of different. But if you know Kevin Tenney, you know exactly what you're going to get when you go into to any of his films. So definitely recommend that. That's on my list of wants right now. One that I want right now, which I'm hoping I'm going to be able to finally get, like finally be able to pull the trigger on, is a little movie called Sugar Cookies. It is one of those. It's a very different film, but it's kind of like you know the plot. Basically, well, you got a bit of the feel to it. Like that's the thing. People that grew up like in the 2000s, like a lot of them, unfortunately, they've missed out on the whole like the whole like movie rental, or they got like the tail end of the movie rental places. And can you remember the day when you could actually go in and rent like a video game system and some video games and stuff like that? Fun times. Uh, for me anyway, I used to do that all the time. But yeah, so I definitely recommend those titles there. There are a lot of fun ones. If you're an Andy Milligan fan, it won't be on the sale this time around, but keep an eye out for when, if a sale ever comes up for it. The Flesh Pot on 42nd Street, excellent title. Andy Milligan is you either become a fan of Andy Milligan or I think or you really don't. That's the thing. He's one of those directors. I think he's kind of divisive that way, but I really enjoy his the kind of like insanity that his films. I find like a lot from movies too. From like I was around in those times, but I still find it a lot from you guys who have managed to see things along the way or do things, or sometimes meet up with some people because you're in better areas than me, and to have met some of the people that actually did some of this stuff. Whenever we got like Kubrick lover on here, for instance, he's met everybody. You draw the line on Andy Milligan, really? I like Andy Milligan. I really do. Like, obviously, I watched Fleshpot on 42nd Street. Now, this is, no, there's a, that is, it's an adult title, an X-rated title. You can really tell that Andy Milligan has like zero interest in adult entertainment or doing anything X-rated. He doesn't care for that at all. Like he sticks, like he said, okay, I'll put in those sequences when I have to, type of thing. But he does like to stay true to the characters and the story. That's what I like about Milligan. Is that he does try to stay true to what he's doing. And like I said, Milligan, not for everybody. But if you're somebody that's studying dialogue, for instance, maybe you're studying like you're doing like film class and you're studying dialogue, or writing, like writing dialogue. I think it's interesting to like look into some of Andy Milligan's work because he's very good with dialogue. I find him like to be one of those guys that gets it right. Kind of like when Stephen King, when people speak in a Stephen King novel, it sounds like people are speaking and not like they're making speeches. Andy Milligan sounds like people are speaking. If you like the movie now, it's going to be a totally different story. But for studying purposes, I would say definitely look at some of Milligan's work if you study film. Now, this, for instance, this one's now out of print, but the good thing is it's part of the 5 films 5 years set, and here it is right here, and this is the Cutthroats. Now this is by John Hayes, the guy that did Grave the Vampire, which I actually really liked. Kind of an early, kind of like I guess sort of like a Nazi exploitation action. Let's basically find the treasure type of film with a few like twists and turns along the way. Basically, there's some people and they're looking for they're looking for something, and I remember like there's a couple like double crosses and turns and it was interesting. It was definitely low budget, but it was actually very well done. Another one that I can like kind of a fun one. If you're somebody said they're getting Death Machines, well, this is Death Machines right here. Again, a really fun little action film. I was choosing between, by the way, the Taboo quadrology or getting the other three Rudy Ray Moore films that I don't have. If you don't have Dolomite, by the way, get Dolomite. If you like blaxploitation at all, you want that film. You want that in your collection. You want all the Rudy Ray Moores in your collection. I definitely recommend them. Now, there's 4 Rudy Ray Moores that are out there. There is Dolomite, there's the Human Tornado, there is P.D. Wheatstraw, and there is Disco Godfather. Because I bet your mom rocks, man. And she's right. 70s, 80s were an awesome era to grow up in my opinion. Of course, I grew up in them, so I'm slightly biased, but definitely something that I that I really like and I really enjoy. Now, but yeah. So anyway, the first 2 films, Dolomite and hey John, how's it going? Yes, we are talking. The Vinegar Syndrome sale. So it's going to be starting like I think Thursday night, like at 12 a.m. type of thing. That's usually when it starts, 12 or 1. But so Wednesday they're going to be cutting off the website until it comes. Oh yeah, dude, grab Dolomite, Movie Madness. Where's my Dolomite at? So this is the alternate artwork for Dolomite right there, because you already know the original artwork. It's on the website. Well, the new artwork. It's on the website. It's right here. I find the new artwork kind of blah. Hey there, John. Are you getting ready for the Vinegar Syndrome sale, man? Are you getting some cool stuff? A lot of great stuff on this, and of course the Dolomite like feature documentary that's been like at around 15, 20 minutes long, and each one, all together is going to make around an hour long, hour and change bit of documentary. So Dolomite and Human Tornado are both Rudy Ray Moore. And both of those are, oh yeah, definitely upgrade for that one. They're both Dolomite films, so both of those are the character Dolomite, and they're really fun. Human Tornado is actually a bit crazier than Dolomite when it comes to like the films. Now, P.D. Wheatstraw and Disco Godfather both also star Rudy Ray Moore, but they're not the Dolomite character. Then he's playing different characters. Obviously, in P.D. Wheatstraw, he's playing, well, the titular character of P.D. Wheatstraw, and the son-in-law to the devil type of thing. You love they're all. I think they're all fantastic. To be totally honest with you, I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch. Everybody's got their own favorites. I know Celluloid Terror, for instance. He liked Disco Godfather best. That was his favorite. He thought it was the most accomplished one. Hey, Indy Phantom. That was the one that he really liked. I did do a bit of research, so I was looking at like people's like reviews and stuff. I'm so hyped for this sale, Indy. You have no idea. Hey, Cool Blue. Now, of course, if you want the 5th Rudy Ray Moore film, if you want to get the 5th Rudy Ray Moore film, there's a 5th title that Rudy Ray Moore actually is in. He's not the star. He's got a small part in it. But Penitentiary 2 actually has Rudy Ray Moore as well. What's really neat about it is that Human Tornado has Rudy Ray Moore and Ernie Hudson in it for a bit. Ernie Hudson had to go, so somebody else kind of takes over his role, his brother. Eagle-eyed people, well, you don't have to be too eagle-eyed, but you'll find out. Anyway, in Penitentiary 2, you get Rudy Ray Moore, and who's the villain in Penitentiary 2? Why, it's Ernie Hudson. So it's almost like a crossover. So Rudy Ray Moore is in Penitentiary 2. So if you want all the Rudy Ray Moore films, if you want to get all the films that Vinegar Syndrome put out that Rudy Ray Moore is in, then yes, you got to pick up Penitentiary 2 as well. And I have the Arrow like DVDs of Penitentiary 1 and 2. But that being said, I really love those films. I grew up watching the Penitentiary films. I'm a huge fan of the Leon Isaac Kennedy series. I'm very bummed that Part 3, for reasons, can't come out. But I'm grabbing the Penitentiary films. I can tell you, like, more than likely, unless something really happens. 2, I think 2 is the one with the dwarf. That's the right term, right? Sorry if it's not. I apologize if it's not, but I think it is the right term. Yeah. So the Part 2, definitely Part 2. Like Part 1's more serious. Like as serious as Penitentiary can be, right? Like it's more serious, like kind of John. You know, you've seen him. Part two goes into like super crazy territory. They've recasted the bad guy. We got Ernie Hudson, and he goes like over the top with it in such a good way. And of course, then there's Mr. T. Mr. T's part of it as well, and there's the kind of the dwarf character, and and then part three, just like super crazy as well. Yeah, that's the cool thing, Movie Madness. The slips are available to these for both of the Penitentiary films still, and true enough, we just do our best, John. I guess that's what it is, right? Uh, but but what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, I do recommend them. The Penitentiary films, they're great films for black exploitation films, and I think that some of the black exploitation ones, we got on a kick watching like a bunch of black exploitation films, and my better half, she loves the black exploitation genre, but she does prefer, like, although she can watch some of the more serious ones, she does prefer like the Shafts and the more kind of like the more actiony style ones, as opposed to the ones where you just feel like it's a complete downer, right? And because there are ones that do kind of come off, like Willie Dynamite. It sounds like this, yay, oh, Willie Dynamite, he's a pimp and he's cool, and then you watch it and it gets rather depressing. Willie Dynamite, you swear with me, Willie Dynamite, you get rather you get rather depressing after a while. But you're a good film. Willie Dynamite's a great film, but it gets dark, guys. Willie Dynamite as a film gets pretty damn dark. What I like about the Penitentiary films is I'm all there with you, John. Is that basically, they're fun. They're fun films. They don't get too, they don't get too serious for too long, or not long enough for you to like really get, like, oh my God, well, what deep thing's happening now? They're gonna box. Oh, okay, that's good then. But no, it's fun stuff. It's really fun, cool stuff. That's what I like about Dolomite. Dolomite is fun. It's cheesy. It's lightweight. The most message film with Dolomite is Disco Godfather. In Disco Godfather, he plays Disco Godfather. The cops actually call him Godfather. Like, he's got a name. I think it's like Tucker or something like that in the film. But it's been a long time since I've seen it, guys, so I apologize if I get the name wrong. But basically, he's fighting against like PCP, like the scourge of PCP type of thing. Women in prison. Oh, yeah. If you don't have it, and sweet sugar, man. I have Zombie Lake. Is that the Franco one? Well, in some cases, Adrian, they had fun making them win prison films. Have you ever seen Machete Maidens? Because that, to tell you, like, sometimes it's general. I don't have it. I don't have Zombie Lake. There was two that came out at the time. One was a Jess Franco that was really boring. I'm not gonna lie, it was really boring. Like, I have a certain expectations when I watch a Jess Franco film. If I'm watching a Jess Franco film, and the beginning, say, starts off with two female characters, two lesbian characters, and in a tent scene, and then it bypasses nudity or anything like that, then yeah, you disappointed me, Jess Franco. You disappointed me a lot. That's not what I expect from you. I don't expect you to be all like slow burn. But I can't remember which one I got. Oh, John has a YouTube channel, which you must check out. John Rowland. Okay, I don't have it. I've seen it, but years ago. I don't remember anything about it. I know that I think Redemption put it out. Yes, thank you. My Chauffeur. That's one that I did mention because it's very different than. I don't know if the slip cover is still available for My Chauffeur. Yeah, that's one of the best slip covers. Even if it's not, it is a great film. It's right here. So this is Deborah Foreman, if you're not yet, if you grew up in the 80s, 9 tenths out of 10, you you fell in love with Deborah Foreman one time or another. There she is right there. Maybe you're watching Valley Girl. Maybe you were watching the movie April Fool's Day. Maybe you're watching My Chauffeur. But to be honest with you, you've, at one time or another, if you've probably fallen in love with Deborah Foreman for one of the roles that she's done, because she's just that good and she is that charismatic in every role that she does. This is a really good film. This has got a great cast. Penn and Teller are actually in this one here, and it's really kind of neat and kind of fun. Teller plays this kind of like this rich like I think oil chic, and Penn plays this kind of this grifter character, and it's neat how they come together. It's really well done. If you have not seen this, you know, what can I say? It's definitely should be in anybody's collection. Ooh, I would love to see Chained Heat and Vinegar Syndrome. Scorsese knows his stuff, man. That's the thing. Scorsese, people think like Scorsese, well, I like this film, and puts his pinky out. No, Scorsese likes a lot of different type of films. Has anybody listened to any of Eli Roth's History of Horror podcast? Which it's actually, if you saw like the TV series that Eli Roth did, or watched the Shutter, it was on Shutter as well, called History of Horror. Then Eli Roth has put out a podcast version of it with like uncut, like complete interviews of the character of the episode. So basically, for instance, he interviews Quentin Tarantino within the history of horror, right? But there's a podcast too, like an audio podcast. And the first or second episode is Quentin Tarantino. It's over 2 hours long, and you get to hear like Quentin Tarantino talking on stuff. And I think it's up to 5 or 6 episodes. Each one uses a different person. So if you've seen the History of Horror, the series, then it's a podcast on iTunes. That I do strongly recommend. It's really well done. And especially if you want to hear like stuff from different people there. Let me see if I can kind of give you an idea now. I'm going to try and find it for you. Oh my God. Apparently I can't type tonight. Another History of Rome. Stop trying to give me that, guys. You know, when you want your stuff to so far the people that he spoke to within the History of Horror, there's a 55-minute episode with Stephen King. There's an hour and 33-minute episode with director Edgar Wright, and there's a 2 hour and 7-minute episode with Quentin Tarantino. There's a 50-minute one with Diablo Cody, and there's a hour and 37-minute one with Brian Fuller, and the 6th episode, which just recently came out, is a 45-minute interview with Tony Todd. So, you know, a lot of cool stuff there. So when you're listening to your Pure Cinemas and listening to your Just to This podcast, because you know you should be listening to those, then definitely make sure that you're going to be doing the History of Horror podcast, because it's actually really cool. Who doesn't like Silent Night, Deadly Night? It's such a cool movie. Yeah, I got Battle for Lost Planets, but I haven't got a chance to watch yet, actually. Because it's got both films. You got Mutant Wars on there, too. That's the boring one I'm talking about. Oasis of Zombies. Maybe I like it. Maybe I saw it at the wrong time. Because I'm like 90%. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Like Zombie Lake is way better. In my opinion. In my opinion, Zombie Lake is way better than Oasis of the Zombies. Uh, it's an okay film. I do. I mean, I got it put down to like uh, I got like a cutoff limit. So overall, I'm going to get a couple of the like two or three of the black exploitation ones for sure. Uh, I will be grabbing some. I'm going to think of. I'm really strongly thinking of grabbing the Rita Ray Moores as well, and getting some horror stuff. And I'm definitely going to get the Sexploitation Signature Series. I don't think enough people have actually looked into that 13th Wolfman, but I strongly think that one's going to be good. Malibu High, yeah, there is one that I love. I love Malibu High. That's okay with you. So basically, what we're doing here, 13th Wolfman, is you know what? This is the countdown to the Vinegar Syndrome sale. My next few days, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be talking about this. I don't know if I've seen the telephone book. I don't think that I have. Uh, I've seen. I want to get it, but I don't. I keep putting it on my list of ones to get. But there's so much that I have to get that I'm worried that's going to go to print, and I want to get it before. So I'm definitely probably going to get the Rita Ray Moore ones. I want to find a way to get sugar cookies in there, because I was Adrian. I was, but no, watch it anyway. Uh, but I want to get. I really want sugar. Does anybody have sugar cookies? Can anybody tell me sugar cookies if they've seen it? It's it stars Mary Warnoff and Lynn Lowry. Uh, yeah, see, that's one. It's strong on my list. Like I really like Mary Warnoff. I really like Lynn Lowry. Bloodhook for sure, man. Mausoleum. Oh, I forgot about that one actually. Will that one be on sale? That's gonna. I like. I got. I loved Upgrade Mausoleum. That's one with Bobby Breezy. I've got a DVD double feature of that one, which has like Blood Song. I think it's the second film on it. Like I think it's Mausoleum and Blood Song, because Blood Song is the one with Frankie Avalon. Actually, I would love to see Vinegar send him to that one. That's one I could see them doing down the road. But it almost seems like a cult collection that they do, like one of those double feature driving collections, something like that. But I did like Blood Song. It's one of those weird ones. It seems like back in the day, I could kind of see them doing those a bit more, like a Blood Song or something like that. It'll be interesting to see where, what's going to come on the during this. This is the first time ever that I can honestly say, I hope that I'm not too interested in the two titles that are mystery titles. Like Brad said, they're going to be some like must buys. But I'm really hoping that they're ones that one, I can buy without a slipcover. Because I think Vinegar Syndrome has the best slipcovers. But isn't it going to be available for single buy though? It should be available for single buy. My favorite like adult title. I don't have the taboo titles yet. I really want them. I really do, because I do think that they are definitely a part of like history. Dixie Ray is one of my favorites. Uh, that one actually has an actual pretty good plot line to it. I was really interested in watching Dixie Ray. Trashy Lady with which Ginger Lynn. I like Ginger Lynn. So basically, anything she's like, aside from being like incredibly attractive woman, she's super charismatic and she's really good at whatever role she's put in. But it also has as Harry Reams, and I think that he's actually really really good. He's really funny. He's one of these like really funny actors, and whenever you have guys like that in there, I think it kind of like it puts them to a different level. Like nowadays, I don't watch adult stuff. Like I'll be honest, I don't watch any like any of like the new stuff or anything like that. But if you ask me like people like stars now, I'll say like Stormy Daniels stuff because she's in the news, but I don't know. But like the older stuff, like when they had like storylines and plots, and like I think I do consider it legitimate cinema. I like 100% do consider that legitimate cinema, and I do collect that. Pretty Peaches trilogy is fantastic. I don't have that one. I'm actually thinking of it. It's hard. There's so many that I want, and I got like a cutoff point. And I know that there's certain ones. Okay, I'm going to get this, and I want to get this, and I really want this. The Pretty Peach. What's really nice is that the Pretty Peaches trilogy is all together. 1 and 2 are better than part 3, so for Pretty Peaches. But watch it anyway. 3 of them. You guys talked about Shockwaves. It's a fantastic little film, by the way. I loved Shockwaves. It's zombies under the water Nazi zombies. I haven't seen Babyface in years. I don't remember Babyface 2 at all, to be completely honest with you. That's Alex Taranis, right? The same guy that did Pretty Peaches. Like there's certain names that I know. When I study film, and I may come off as a geek for some of the stuff, but I do remember some of the directors sometimes more than some of the actors, right? Like I know Anthony Spinelli does a lot of really good stuff, and Bob Chin is really versatile when it comes to that stuff. Alec Durenis is one guy that you really look to. Then, and there was like, and of course, people are, you either like or you hate Carlos Tobolini. I don't think there's like kind of like an in between with that. But I think most of his stuff overall is pretty good. Hopefully that, like the people here that like the adult stuff, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The other people, they'll be like, okay, I'll listen to the conversation going on in the chat portion. I do apologize, but Vinegar Syndrome that's the thing with Vinegar Syndrome. It does have a little bit for everybody. It's got a little bit, not a lot for the kids, Maybe Cry Wilderness for the kiddies. In the group, not a lot of family films when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome. You could probably sit down and like watch Orgy of the Dead. I'm not lying. That's actually just like nudity. It's not like sexy or anything, or to be honest with you, completely interesting. It's it's a weird film. If you've ever seen A.C. Stevens' Orgy of the Dead, yeah, nobody's going to be corrupted by Orgy of the Dead. It's basically burlesque dancers with a minimal storyline. Oh, Elves would be amazing, but I would see them doing Elves like maybe like as an October title, or maybe even like December. Orgy's weird. Like I got Orgy. It's one of their great slipcovers though. I mean, like hands down, I love the cover to Orgy of the Dead. Let me see if I can find it here, because it does, it stands out. Do I have it over here or do I have it upstairs? Because I was watching one there earlier. Because I'm getting an A.C. Stevens one, more than likely. Did I bring that upstairs? No, I couldn't have. All right, here we go. So, now this is Orgy of the Dead. This is like a Vinegar Syndrome film. Now this was put out like on another layup. This is the version you want. This is the day glow version, by the way. As you can see, it's like very colorful. It has a commentary track with Edward Bogfer on here, and Frank Henenlotter. And if that is not enough for you to get it, I'm not excited about Spookies. I mean, I know Spookies. I'm okay with it, but it wouldn't be a title that would be like, yeah, I got to grab this. Like if the slipcover was good enough. I mean, I'd buy Spookies. I get it down the road, but it was never one that really really grabbed me. As in like, that being said, I haven't seen it in years. Like it was VHS when I watched Spookies. I never bought like I don't know if there was a DVD. I never like bought or rented a DVD of it. I saw it in VHS. I hated the cover. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So this one here, Orgy of the Dead, it's written by Ed Wood. What's really cool is like listen to the commentary track. It's got Frank Henenlotter, and if you like me, you've got the documentary That's Sexploitation that Severin put out. If you don't get it, it's really freaking good. Henenlotter's a very animated person to talk. I got asked that as earlier, Buzzworthy. I'm pretty sure that it does. I'm not sure if they're at the 50% range or not, but I think that they do include like titles that aren't Vinegar Syndrome titles. I know that during one of the sales, there's the guy Mood 616, and he went in his Black Friday haul or his halfway to Black Friday haul, whichever one that he did. I remember watching a video, and the last title that he took out wasn't a Vinegar Syndrome title that he got during the sale. It was actually Miami Connection. By another company, but it just happened to be on the Vinegar Syndrome website. So, although I usually just buy Vinegar Syndrome when it's there, I do think there are other titles there as well. But yeah, so this is good. But the better film, like this is a fun film, but it's a weird film. But Fugitive Girls. If this is remotely interesting, you're gonna love Fugitive Girls. Because Fugitive Girls is A.C. Stevens' best work. It actually not only is written by Ed Wood, but Ed Wood actually acts in Fugitive Girls. He actually has two roles in the film. And it has a commentary with Frank Henenlotter and Ed Wood's biographer on Fugitive Girls as well. And it's part of their awesome sexploitation signature series. And I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'm a big sucker for spines. So this is like, say this is a regular spine, right? Now, one that I would recommend, John Steele, is there's one called, and the first one is a Bob Chin film, Abduction of a Playgirl. And the second one is a bit of a rougher one, more of a darker one, starring Jamie Gillis, and it's called Winter Heat. That's actually a pretty good double feature, in my opinion. Anyway, I enjoyed them. I don't have it. Actually, I've seen both films. That's one that I got on my list of ones to get. So we see the regular spine here like this, right? So for the Sexploitation Signature Series, this portion of the spine right here has kind of like the Sexploitation Signature logo, like along here, and it's all like kind of color. It's got its own like unique kind of day glow color on the spine. So I'm actually very excited to have all those like lined up in my collection. I know that's like just a silly aesthetic thing, but it's something that I really am kind of excited to get. It's kind of like when you're getting Shameless stuff, and you get like the Shameless, and you might have them all, but you got enough that the Shameless logo is like going along that spine, as you can see in the background there, right there. There's way too many for me to choose from. I did up a big list, and when I did it up, there was like, if the first ultimate list I did was over like $700 Canadian, and I knew I had to like weed it down. Like, obviously I wasn't gonna get $700 worth of stuff. I love to. I wish I had that money, but that ain't gonna happen. So I just went down, and what I did finally is I said, okay, let's categorize it. So I went, I took my big list that I had on my Word, and then I took out my iPad and I went through the list on my computer, and I put things in categories. I looked at their price, like their highest price. I halved that to get like the Black Friday, the halfway to Black Friday price, because 50% off almost everything. So I'm going, as far as I remember, the 50% off is off the highest price. It's not off the lower price, obviously. So I did 50% off of everything there. I put it all in Canadian prices so that I know exactly what I was working with. I put things into categories: blaxploitation, I put in like the horror wants for this time around, the Peakorama wants, the taboo quadrilogy, and and the 50 films, 50 years. That's one I always recommend. The thing is that every time, and I'll be honest, last night I had this like revelation. Number one in the signature sexploitation series is Red Roses of Passion by Joe Sarno. I love Joe Sarno. work. And let's see, there's Red Roses of Passion. I'm not sure what order they're in. I know the number one is Red Roses of Passion. Give me a second here. I'll find it for you. The ones in the collection is Pickup. I think Pickup might be, I'm not sure if you got that or not. Pickup, Fugitive Girl, Red Roses of Passions, and Andy Milligan's Seeds Vapors. So those are the four in the Signature Sexploitation series. Unfortunately, the Signature Sexploitation series did not do as well as they wanted it to do, so that series ended at number 4. So if you get the other ones, then you're going to have the complete series. And here's the neat thing. Here's the cool thing. Here's the kids at the cool table type of thing. Is people are not looking at this series right now. They're passing it by. And much like some of the other stuff that went out of print that people now want, this is a series. Like whether, it is a series. There are 4 of them. They all have around 2,500 or something, or 2,000 or whatever copies each. Once they're gone, they're gone. And then people are going to be looking for them afterwards. Like people are going to come in and they're going to so you need Red Roses of Passion and you need the Andy Milligan double feature Seeds and Vapors, which is actually pretty good. Like for Andy Milligan stuff, that's actually probably some of his better stuff. Something, Andy Milligan's the guy that got part of something weird, like did a lot of stuff with Andy Milligan. Oh, dude, Death Force Vampirokers is awesome. It's right here. They're both by Cirio Santiago, and this is I love his directing. Look at pimped out John Carradine as Dracula. You'll love, if you've never seen Death Force, John, you're gonna love Death Force. It's a blast, and Vampirokers is funny as heck. But yeah, definitely recommend it. That's how it's going to look in your shelf, man. If you got a few of these, they kind of look good together type thing. I only got one. Anytime you get when you got like a kind of an interesting spine and you kind of put them together, I find it kind of cool that way. So once you get a few of these, you kind of like they line up, literally line up. That bad pun, but you know what I mean. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, so I was going through it, and I was going through different price range and stuff, and it's like once I categorized them, once I had them all categorized, and I couldn't figure out. Every time I went, I was going $20 over, $40 over, like $50, $70 or $80 over, and then there was something missing. There's something that I wanted, and I didn't know what that was, and then I remembered this. Then I remembered that I had these. And I remember that I spent a lot of time watching these and like having a lot of fun with these. And I remember that they put out volumes 3 and 4. I don't have them. And I wanted them. So once I knew how much these cost, and like knew how much volumes 3 and 4 cost, and the fact that volume 3 is getting kind of low, then once that clicked, it's kind of like if you're trying to pick a lock and you hit and you're tumbling and you're going and you kind of listening, you kind of like waiting just for it to tumble into the right spot, and then it kind of just clicks, and then it clicked. Once I knew that, then everything else centered around like came into place. Then I knew that the Signature Sexploitation, I knew that was going to be stuff that I was going to be looking into getting. I wanted that complete. And I'm going to be like, that's the thing. A lot of people are going to cherry pick with the Signature Sexploitation set. They're going to say, oh, I want Fugitive Girls, and they're not even going to think of the Signature Sexploitation part of it. They're not going to think of it as, okay, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a series. People cherry pick some of the ones they want. I want, when it comes to like a series and stuff like that, I want the series. So a lot of people are not going to be looking to get the complete series. And eventually they're going to sell out. And people are going to have 1 and they're going to have 2, but they're going to be looking for 3, they're going to be looking for 4, they're going to be trying to complete it. They're going to look at their spines. They're going to say, okay, I got 1 and 3 set of place, so I want 2 and 4. Exactly, like the Redemption line. You want the whole thing, right? But with this series, it's 4. It's 4 movies. That's and the most expensive one on sale, Canadian price, is $22.20. It's not like American price. This is Canadian price, $22.20. So less for you. And the cheapest one is like $20.18. So again, not too bad at all. So look for like in Canadian for like $86, I can have the entire series, have it all done in one fell swoop. You get like a Joe Sarno film. I really like Joe Sarno stuff. I think that he does like, he photographs. He's a great like photographer. Like when it comes to like doing film, especially black and white, he really works well in black and white. He does the female form. He does the male and female form. Does it like well, and he shoots like he's not an adult filmmaker, but his scenes within his films they are like sexy scenes. No, they're not explicit scenes, but they're sexy. I got the document. I got like a documentary somewhere. Somebody gave me one, not a legit one though. I don't have the legit one. There's like somebody gave me a burn or something back in the day, but I don't think I've ever watched it. So no, I haven't. I got it, but I haven't watched it. But do I know what the exploitation TV series has in it? That one didn't. They didn't. I don't know if they did many of those. I have this one, which I think is what everyone has. Now, this was done during the time. Exploitation.tv, for people that aren't aware. Vinegar Syndrome, for a short period of time, had their own streaming service. Now, the streaming service had like different things, like different names it was going to be called, but eventually, what they did settle on was the name Exploitation.tv. That was their streaming service. There was like horror, and there was like adult stuff, and there was short films and like featurettes and all the type of stuff on there. Now, as far as I know, now some people may know more than me. This is the only Exploitation.tv title that I know that is like that I know is available. There may be more, but as far as I know, this is it. Now, I'm not sure if, like, say, Runaway Nightmare, for instance, when that had a Blu-ray, because that had a short-lived Blu-ray as well. This is one of the short-lived Blu-rays, by the way. This is like when I say limited, once it's gone, it's gone. So holding this in my hand right now, I'm very proud. This, you can't anymore. This is, unless you find this on eBay or somewhere secondhand, you're not going to buy this on the Vinegar Syndrome website anymore. This is just not available. You can buy the DVD edition of it, but the Blu-ray is gone. But as far as I know, there maybe the Runaway Nightmare one was. I'm not quite sure. This is the only one that I know. The Young Like It Hot and Sweet Young Foxes. Oh, number 2. Thank you. That one's out of print too, by the way. Now that one you can buy the Peakorama DVD of. By the way, that's a really good double feature. I remember both of those films. Those are both actually really, really good films. And if I remember correctly, doesn't have features on it as well? You have those two. Thank you, Movie Madness. See, Movie Madness knows a bit more. And that's why it's good that this is a movie club, because I don't know all the answers, but some of you guys do. Now I really want that one, actually. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough of them. But if you like this and you like this kind of aesthetic, you're going to get like the Sexploitation Signature Series has this too. It is numbered. There are 4 of them. Ooh, so there's 3. They're both adult titles. So let me guess. So Crypt of the Living Dead is number 1. Crypt of the Living Dead, House of the Living Dead. So we got the Some Like It. Was it the? Oh God. Then there's the Peakorama double feature. Would the third one be the other adult title that's out of print? Obviously, it's not their Peakorama one. So The Young Like It Hot is number 2. I'm curious now. I'm actually really curious. So let's just see something here. Too bad they don't have like an out of stock section here. Let's go from old to new. Number Weekend's a fun one. That's not. Let's see, what would it be? See if we can find it here first. What it could possibly be. I bet you I know what it is. Is it the Dr. Jekyll one with the clockwork blue? Is that the name of it? Jekyll and Hyde portfolio clockwork blue. I'm guessing, I would guess that's the third in the exploitation TV series. Am I correct? The second or the third? Because you said you had two, right? And they're both adult titles. Is this it? It's not that one, huh? An early release of Corruption. Corruption's the one that's got the Last House on the Left runner, right? No, not Last House. The Last House on Dead End Street. So, Erotic Adventures of Candy is still around. Erotic Adventures of Candy is the only like Blu-ray for Peakorama as of yet. Could have been a Pretty Peaches one. Pretty Peaches was the limited edition that went out of print. Because you know the original Pretty Peaches went out of print. I don't think it's Nightmare Weekend because I do have Nightmare Weekend here. You just see here. No, it's definitely not Nightmare Weekend. Is it Pretty Peaches? This could be. The original Pretty Peaches was a Blu-ray that actually went out of print before they put out the triple feature one. Because the original Pretty Peaches Blu-ray actually had like, I think maybe an R-rated cut. Sex World too, by the way, went out like out of print as well. The one edition of that. Oh, it's okay. It's actually, this is actually kind of cool. It's like we're doing detective work, trying to figure this stuff out. I'll be interested if anybody figures out what it is. I'd really be interested to know, because I remember ones that did go out of print that are no longer around, and I'm gonna be completely blunt and upfront with you guys. Until you guys mentioned the exploitation TV thing, Spine, I didn't realize. I didn't notice the exploitation TV thing on here. Like I remember seeing it once, but I never like noticed the number one. So I didn't know this was a series. At the time, I thought that it was just them like promoting their streaming service. But it was only through you guys here on and you know I'm a huge Vinegar Syndrome fan, but it's through you guys that I found out about the exploitation TV thing. I actually didn't know myself. Is anybody going to get any of the etiquette pictures? Oh no, I don't know if they're. I don't think it's just Sex World too. I'm talking about Sex World. I mean, like Sex World, like it was put out. Like there was an edition of it put out with the R-rated cut as well on Blu-ray, but that's out of print. Like there was two versions of Sex World that came out. Like their Sex World, the one that you can get right now, is like featureless, which is just the Blu-ray. But there's a limited edition of Sex World, which is a fantastic like adult film, by the way. It's really well done, and a great job by Kay Parker in that film. So there was a limited edition Blu-ray of it that had both versions of it on there. Now you can still buy it on DVD to get the limited edition, like R-rated cut, but you can't get it. Young Foxes, Sweet Young Foxes. Thanks. Okay, we saw. Looks like we solved it. Well, the case has been solved. Is anybody getting any of the Etiquette Pictures releases? I'm kind of interested to know that actually. I was going to, but I'm not this time. I actually had to choose between the Signature Sexploitation series and the Etiquette Pictures releases. I looked and I realized one of the Etiquette Pictures releases is already out of print, but the Signature Sexploitation series, all four are in print. And well, these still are all in print. I'm going to grab them. I love the cover to Fugitive Girls, by the way. It's just so cheesy and well done, and just it looks like a super fun film. And I like women in prison films, so that's kind of fun there. That was interesting. Now the taboo movies, would you can? I'm gonna ask you. Anybody that likes the adult stuff, I'm gonna ask you this right now. I've got the option to get one or the other during the sale, and I can get the taboo quadrilogy. There are four films. I do think highly of these films, and and I've got Dolomite. So there's three Rudy Ray Moore films. There's Yum Tornado, Peter Wheatstra, and Disco Godfather. I have to choose between getting the Taboo quadrilogy or the Rudy Ray Moore films. Now, I'll be honest with you. Until today, when some people like mentioned you get those Rudy Ray Moore films, I was kind of leaning towards the Taboo quadrilogy, and I will explain why. Is that they are all of these are limited edition, and the last time I checked, the Taboo, like the original in the Taboo series, is down to 130 or so, like that are available. And I know I'm going to feel bummed if I don't get it. And I really want those commentaries. There's like four commentaries on the original Taboo film, and I really want that. And on Taboo 4, it's got Ginger Lynn, and there's going to be like an interview with her, which I'm guessing should be pretty interesting as well. Oh, on the website, 13th Wolfman, if you go right into any of the titles, they will tell you like how many are left. The sins of all the sins of Sodom is that definitely out of print. That's Joe Sarno too, by the way. That's how I got. That's how I got it. Like that's it. That's how I made the mistake. I thought all the sins of Sodom was the first in the sexploitation signature series. It wasn't. It was Red Roses of Passion. It was finding that out that actually made me click on that one. So yeah, there is like, for instance, I'll go into. Let me just like I'm in the Vinegar Syndrome website right now, and I'm just gonna do their search. So Taboo, there's 132 left in stock for that film. And it's not for everybody, obviously. But there are two brand new commentaries on there. There are two archival audio commentaries, and there's an archival video interview with Kay Parker, the lead actress from the film, on there. On Taboo 2 and 3, which is a double feature, there are about 169 left. So I think I'm going to have to get these this time around and wait on the Rudy Ray Moore ones. If I get a Rudy Ray Moore one, it's probably going to be Human Tornado, just to get the sequel to Dolomite. Now, the Taboo 4, which is actually, honestly, Taboo 1 and 4 are the best in the series. The writing is the strongest on part 4. Like from part 1 to part 4, really strong writing. I know that seems weird to say if you're not like a fan of this type of cinema, you probably don't think of it as like actually having like scripts and writing and stuff. They do, but 4 like kind of weaves everything together, and you find out things in 4 that kind of make sense between like 1 and 2 and 3. Kind of brings characters back in, takes characters out, kind of weaves things together. There's secrets that come forward, that type of thing. But yeah, I think I actually convinced myself. I didn't realize they were that low. I knew that Taboo 1 was getting low, but I didn't know Taboo 2 and 3 was getting that low as well. So yeah, I'm probably going to grab the Taboo quadrilogy. Obviously, my better half will never watch them. I said, the other night I was looking at them, and she doesn't watch adult cinema. That's the thing. It's not her thing, right? That being said, she has no problem with me watching that stuff. She's bought me that stuff before. She said, like, here you go. You like this movie, because she knows I buy everything, and if it's as long as it's got to have as long as it's got a plot and there's something that I can get out of it. Yeah, like kind of. That's the thing, and I do. I really like those films, but more than anything, I want those damn commentaries. It's a time. It was like a renegade time. that we'll never see again. It's like the when you think of it's like the video nasty days, the early days of adult cinema was, you know, you could get arrested like for making these films. They could come in, they could, you know, crash into your set and like arrest people and take people, cart people off to jail. It was a crazy time, but it's a really interesting time to study and to really kind of focus on, in my opinion. Like there has been there's been documentaries after documentaries done on the video nasty era, and there's been like a lot of documentaries done on like actors in the adult industry after they get out of the adult industry. What did they do? What, you know, what happened after type of thing. But as far as I know, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, there's no really good in-depth encompassing documentary on like the early days of adult cinema. And you know, back in the days where you took your crew and you had people look out and you ran, and you could end up going to jail and be imprisoned for trying to make something that you know that you wanted to make. That nowadays is like, you know, it's nothing, but back then it was, you know, it could like the repercussions could be really serious. I would love to see a documentary made on that. I guess maybe I'm the only one. I'm sorry, guys, but maybe I'm the only one. But yeah, if there's something you're looking at, like 13th Wolfman, always go on to the movie, click on that movie, and check because it will tell you how many copies are left. Like the limited edition, a lot of them like are pretty good, but certain ones like I think Grave Robbers is like really low. That's one that I don't mind if I don't get the like the slipcover on Grave Robbers, so I'm okay. But there's certain ones like I want the slipcover of. Like Disconnected, for instance, is down. It's pretty low right now. It's down into 200s. And I do want Disconnected, but I can't. I can't, like with everything else I'm getting. I just can't afford it during this sale to grab Disconnected. So I'm just gonna have to get it without the cover. I'm gonna have to get it with a slipcover. Hopefully, you know, they put it out without slipcover. There's a few that they don't. Always check, by the way, on their limited editions to see if they're coming out like the ones with slipcovers, if they're coming out without slipcovers. Obviously, there are limited editions, for instance, that don't have slipcovers, but they're limited. Was this limited? And they will tell you how many are available. Like for instance, here's Hellbent. This was one that never had a slipcover. That being said, there was only 2,000 of these made. I know that for nowadays that may seem like a lot to a like exactly Deadly Daphne's Revenge not getting a regular release. So if there isn't any copies left of it with the slipcover, then it's gone. They're not going to be redoing that one. This movie here, Hellbent, never had a slipcover, not once. But you know what? It's also not available anymore. It's one of the Richard Casey films. There's two. There's Hellbent and there's Horror House on Highway 5. I'm not even sure if Horror House on Highway 5 is still available. If it is, grab it. It's bad. It's crazy, but it's fun, and in, you know, in all the best possible ways. But yeah, this was a great release. Look like alternate art there. But you know, people didn't think about it. They didn't realize it. They didn't like move on it. And this is the same thing with the Signature Sexploitation series. It's the same thing. People don't realize it. They just wait, and then people like buy one or they buy two or here or there, and then all of a sudden you can't buy them anymore. And then everybody wants them. And that's the thing. Like this here, this one here, and this one here. These are the Richard Casey limited editions. If this is still available, it's a really fun one. Look at that cover too, man. You want to see a Killer and a Richard Nixon match? You want to see like just some ultimate like super crazy stuff? It's the other cover for Horror House and Highway 5 right there. if this is still available and you want to see his stuff, definitely grab it. Because I'll tell you one thing: you see this, and this is kind of crazy. This one's a little bit more coherent, but it's fun, and it's still crazy. You're gonna you're gonna look this one up, and and that's the thing that I think that gets missed a lot when it comes to with some of this stuff. There is a collector mentality that a lot of us have, and I am definitely 110% collector mentality type of guy. That is me. I obviously there's reasons. You look in the back of my my stuff, and you'll see that I got stuff that that's now out of print, and some of it I had to buy on I didn't buy a lot on eBay. My better half bought for me on eBay. I'm going for 6. Yeah, that's the thing. See, I'm not a fan of scalpers movie madness. I'm really not. But that's why I try to now think ahead. And I'm so glad, I'm so grateful for the fact that Vinegar Syndrome, oh hell bent 30 man, that's been out of stock for like almost I think for quite a while now. It's a good release too. It's a shame if you can get it for a decent price. Definitely pick it up down the road. Don't pay crazy prices for it though. But that's why now I'm really grateful that Vinegar Syndrome has had the foresight to actually keep you, like, rather than just do like random updates. When you click on the title now, it tells you how many's left. So just like on Shopping Channel, you go to Shopping Channel, for instance, say something's on sale. Well, my computer, when I bought my computer, there was like 3 or 4 of them left, right? 103 left on A Horror House on Highway 5. Isn't that fantastic, 13th Wolfman, that you can do that? You can actually just click on that movie. You can say, okay, there's 103 left of these. Okay, I can, do you have that one, 13th Wolfman? Because it's fun. It's a fun film. Do you like crazy films? Like if Nightmare Weekend seemed like it had too much of a coherent plot, you're gonna love Horror House on Highway 5. Because there's a serial killer with a Richard Nixon mask. There is maybe a secret Nazi. There's a Nazi or neo-Nazis brothers that kidnap a girl. There's a whole lot going on, a whole lot of stuff, and you know what? It all comes together. It all comes together. It all seems like kind of like out there, but every plot, even the Richard Nixon killer, it all comes together to at the end to kind of make sense in a weird, crazy way. I think you'll have fun. I'd be surprised if you didn't have fun with it. And here's the thing, dude. If you don't have total fun with it, there's 103 left. It's going to go to print like hellbent. So if you really don't like it down the road, it's you're going to make your money back on it. But I do think you'll like it. So there you go. There's a recommendation. I did not know Horror House on Highway 5 was still left available. It is. That's fantastic, guys. I couldn't go with the 5 slips of cutting class. I know some people did Movie Madness. It's just, that was just a little nutty for me. What am I going to do with 5 slips? They're going to get ripped up. That's what's going to happen. There's way too much to grab. But here's the thing. It's fun to decide and to choose what you're picking. So what I have planned for this week, this is Vinegar Syndrome week. I know my channel seems Vinegar Syndrome-esque anyway. Any questions you got when you're looking through the sale, you're looking at stuff, any things you want to touch on, any topics you want to talk about, we are going to do that here on this channel this week. We're counting down to this sale. Adrian, thanks so much for coming in, dude. It's always a pleasure. It's gonna be like, you guys convinced me on the taboo ones. I gotta get those before they go to print. The killer thing, 13th Wolfman, and this is what it's gonna be, is that after this sale, it is going to be such a like a down period for me for like about a week, because I've been, obviously you guys know I'm hyped about this. I'm super hyped about the Vinegar Syndrome sale. So I've been, been ready, been like getting stuff ready. So it's gonna be like kind of a downer period. I would love to be at the archive, because the thing is, the archive is not only having that stuff on sale, but they're gonna have like sale items from like the archive as well, because the archive carries a lot of stuff. I would kill to go to the archive. I've always wanted like a Vinegar Syndrome, like a T-shirt or a hoodie or something like that. But the thing is, I always, I've always got movies that I need to get during the sale, so I don't have enough bones left over to grab a T-shirt or anything like that. You would think, with all the videos that I do Vinegar Syndrome related, that they would throw me a T-shirt. That they would send a T-shirt my way that I could wear on my channel during a Vinegar Syndrome video. I would much appreciate that. So there, you never know, right? I'm going to keep saying it. Maybe one of these days, one of them will see one of these videos, and they'll say, you know what? He's worked hard. Give him a shirt. They don't? Oh, that sucks. But at this point, guys, I've been here for like 111 minutes. So I am going to go. I'm actually probably going to watch a Vinegar Syndrome title tonight. And I think it's just me up right now. So I am going to watch. Dixie Ray Hollywood Star. I remember that one. Veronica Hart. Juliet Anderson's in that. Juliet Anderson. Oh, Aunt Peg. Yeah. If you're a adult movie fan from the 80s, 70s, 80s era, you know Aunt Peg is. She's Aunt Peg's a superstar. Look her up. She had an interesting life. Unfortunately, she's passed away now. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I had a blast. I hope you guys don't mind this being a Vinegar Syndrome week and like basically talking about Vinegar Syndrome. I am going to have my Blu-rays right here over for the next week. Basically anything you guys want to talk about. So if you see some titles that you're looking at and you think I got them in my collection and you want to ask about them, you want to ask about like certain suggestions or certain things that I might be getting or that you're thinking of getting, or we want to know slip covers, you want to know that type of stuff. If I got it or I've got any knowledge on it, we'll definitely go through them over the next couple of days. And as you can see here, we actually searched out the exploitation TV series, and we had people on here find out all about that. So I learned something new today. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I am Aaron. I am Mr. Vincent. That's what my Twitter says. And if you like this video, please give it a like, and you do me if you can do me the biggest favor of all, please share it like on Twitter or Facebook. It doesn't matter. I actually really appreciate when people do that, because I try to do it as much as I possibly can, but it means a lot more when somebody else does it and it's not just me. Indy, 13th Wolfman, Movie Madness, all you guys rock. I am Aaron. You guys are the movie club. Thanks so much for coming in. You make this night awesome. It's been a blast. I will see you next time. Next Vinegar Syndrome time. No, same Vinegar Syndrome time. Same Vinegar Syndrome place. Right here in the movie library.